Okay, so now it's time for our featured speaker, and we have a tradition here at the GNA.
Oh, we do that?
Steven, do you know what our tradition is now? We have a tradition for our featured speaker at the GNA.
Yes.
What do?
He's got to go out, we got to present him.
That's right, we have to kick you out and send you all the way to the back, so Milky Lagandaon, right?
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
That's all right.
Okay, fantastic. So, let me just check on my phone here. I have the notes for Milky Lagandaon. So, Milky Lagandaon, he is a mortgage broker and real estate broker. And at this week's meeting, he'll be discussing a glimpse of Bay Area real estate, past, present, and future. Milky is a federally licensed mortgage loan originator and also a California licensed real estate broker. He has offices in Burlingame, California, and a corporate office in the state of Washington. The office in Burlingame is a certified HUD branch office and also licensed by the California Department of Corporation as a branch of Bay Equity LLC, a mortgage bank. Milky's mission statement is to provide mortgage and real estate services to prospective clients with prompt service. This is paired with integrity and experience with an emphasis on business ethics. Milky is a father of 3, 2 daughters and a son, and is now a grandfather to 3 grandchildren. Wow. Been pretty busy, huh, Milky? And he is planning to retire in 5 years. Wow, that must be really nice.
Is that right there too?
Before we bring Milky out here, I want to let you all know I've known this gentleman now. It's been almost a year, right, Milky?
Yes.
And the story on how we met Milky was Eric Richardson came here early. Eric Richardson is our co-founder of the GNA. I know he hasn't been around in a while, but he's been taking care of some family things. And he came here early one morning, 8 o'clock, and Milky was at another event here. And Eric just told Milky about the event. And he's like, yeah, I'll come check it out. Eric then told me about Milky, and then when I met Milky, I'm like, wow, great guy. And then he started coming back week after week after week, and he's been one of our most consistent members here at the GNA. He's a really nice guy, he's really down to earth, he's really laid back, and easy to get along with. And I suggest if you haven't had a one-on-one with Milky yet, definitely take the time out of your busy schedule to do so. So without further ado, please welcome, give a big warm GNA welcome to Milky Lagandaon! Yes! Yes!
Thank you.
Give me some brief love, Milky.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, it's all yours.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, for most of you who know me, over the months that I've been attending the meeting, I listen more than I speak. So that's for sure. Maybe 90% I just listen and 10% I speak. So that's just the nature of who I am. The last time I did public speaking was in front of my church. I had to do state of my ministry. I happen to be one of the leaders of the men's ministries at the church up the hill, Church of the Highlands. And I remember my wife was telling me, I think you should go to Skyline College to learn public speaking. I said, why? Well, I noticed you get so nervous, and when you're nervous, you just keep repeating what you're saying. Just keep repeating what you're saying, so what you're saying. And one thing else is, one more thing is, you tend to forget what you're talking about. What was I saying?
You're having a moment.
But, first things first, I really have to thank GNA. The reason why I'm here is, I know I'm not wasting my time. There's purpose and meaning as to why I'm here. I believe that. We are, I believe, like-minded in objectives, the purpose, or maybe where our heart is. I enjoy the company of people who come to us. I look at our networking group like a big international group. We have people from Greece, from Russia, from the Philippines, Alfred and myself, and from Union City. Oh, that's international. Union City or San Bruno. There you go. So we only have one local, but everybody comes from all over.
Local yokel.
Maybe we should meet at the International House of Pancakes.
Yeah, it's not too far from here actually.
Okay, let me get to my topic. I've been talking too long now. So that's what happens. You get nervous, you just keep repeating, think about, try to wing it. But anyway, I first looked at the definition of networking. I was wondering, I've been doing this for quite some time. What's the definition of networking? And just to stay focused, it said, well, one of the definitions, aside from the two other definitions, the one which applies to us is networking is a group of people who exchange information, contacts, and experience for either professional or social purposes. I believe in that definition. Sometimes I think we get distracted by it, but I think we are on the right track. GNA is on the right track. For me, myself, I look at the group. It may not be a large group, but it's an intimate group, and I gain a lot of this. I benefit from this through the exchange of ideas. I hear from Dr. David Curry. I remember when he spoke, I always listen. The first time he spoke, he was talking about going inside the supermarket, and he said that most of this is going to kill you, and this is what you should look for, basic foods and all that. I was so interested because at that time I was in a program. Maybe Alfred would remember, getting a fit program physically. Alfred might remember that maybe last year I was probably 30 pounds heavier because we coupled in church. So it was important to me. So I remember. So I remember also the genes. To me, it's so exciting. And to me, that is one of the big benefits of networking. What did it do for my business? It just made me a better person. It gave me a better outlook on how I should deal with other people. And then what happens? You get to attract the people that, somehow you get to do business with, without really, it just happens, basically. That's how I look at it. Now, talk about real estate is a very broad topic. Real estate is, it's like a topic which does not need further introduction. Everybody does real estate. You either own a home or you rent, that's real estate. Again, I tend to forget, so I always go back to my notes, so I repeat the last thing that I said, but here we are.
He's good.
Okay, so, and then you do a little smile, so that's what you do. There's so many schools of thought on how people look at real estate. It's, again, a broad topic, but I would like to limit myself to an area where I can say my expertise, my observations based on my experience, over 20 years of experience in real estate, doing real estate loans and, being a broker, being a licensed broker. Now you need to be licensed to be a mortgage broker. I think, so there's really not much that, I really have to get into details, but I thought that given the amount of time that I have, I thought I'd just give you a glimpse of where we were, where we are now, and where I think we're going. Okay. Everybody knows where we were. I think we could feel it, right?
Oh yeah.
Maybe in one statement, the best way I could portray the past, the way we do real estate, was the way people are able to acquire real estate. Is that anyone, this is the past, right? Anyone who can breathe can buy a house. Basically.
Yeah, even unqualified people.
That used to be true.
So that is where we were. And
Thank you, Bill Clinton.
I don't think there was a majority of people then who was thinking that this is going to end sooner or later. Everybody was, well, not everybody, but I think generally, going around the realtors and brokers, they say you gotta, make your money now, because, and then what happened was there was always a question of ethics, a question of integrity, question of character, and I'm I was just appalled. I mean, it's just I really felt before it happened. I didn't say that I you know I was being a prophet. I mean, like looking forward. No, I just felt that this is too much. I mean, how can someone who couldn't even afford to pay the mortgage just go by and so I asked that question, and then I do research. Okay, what they do is get into these adjustable mortgages where maybe for a $700,000 house and monthly payments probably like $2,000, maybe a 1% interest, and turn it around after they buy the house, they turn it around and sell it after a few months. And I thought, hey, something's wrong. So somehow I thought I'd prepare for it. I said, because, it's like that story about the turtle and I don't know, about the rabbit and the turtle, wherever it was preparing for the lean month. So I tried to do that, but still, it was hard. I mean, everybody was affected by the recession. Recession started when, people were starting to foreclose on their house and short sales, and hopefully, it gets better, right? So that was the thing there, and it was like everybody was like affected somehow, in some way they were affected. So of course we already know what happens, the rest of the story. So here comes government. Okay, now that this is happening, now let's put up some laws and rules and regulations, and here we are. Now, there is now, I have not seen a real estate loan that was approved without looking at the capability of the borrower to be able to repay. So everything now is documented. I haven't seen a loan, a real good loan. I mean, a loan that's like how should I say it? Something that's out of the regular, Before, all you need to do is breathe, you could get a house. Now, no, you have to show your pay stubs, you got to show history of your income. If you're self-employed, I think most of us are, you're probably looking at a steady income of about 2 to 3 years. Okay. And it has to be on an upward swing, I mean, that direction. There's a different way of looking at income from self-employed, so at least you know that that's a trend. If banks look at it as yes, okay, you're self-employed, but we want to see it go upwards. If in between there was like low times when the income was not there, you have to be able to explain it. So basically, everything has to be explained. Everything has to be documented. Because right now, because of the experience of the past, well, there's like so much short sales, so many foreclosures, so many, even bankruptcies. The way we look at credit reports now, it's pretty much the same, except that now we've lowered, not really lowered, but there's a minimum of a credit score that we look at. I think the magic number is 640. That's the mid score. If you're at 640, you're okay. If you had a short sale, one of your properties, like you need to wait at least 2 years in order for you to buy again. And still, you need to get the credit score back to 640. To get the credit score back up, it's not impossible. That is the nature of credit scores. It moves. I know of a friend had a foreclosure, had a short sale. After 12 months, he was like over 700 in credit score. So no issue on that one. It happens. But again, question is, will you be able to buy a house again? You still have to wait. For short sale, 2 years. Foreclosures, 3 years. For bankruptcies, I believe it's at least 5 years. The type of real estate loans that are very popular right now are the government-backed loans, like the FHA, Federal Housing Authority. If you are a veteran, war vet, and you have that certificate of eligibility, then you could buy a house with no down payment, 100%, but still you need to show your capability, your ability to repay. Okay, so all of this has to have the evidence that this could be repaid. So that's what is happening right now. In real estate, what's happening is that listings here in the Bay Area, if it's priced right, it's not going to last more than 30 days unsold. You will get offers from maybe the first open house. If it's priced right, even before the open house or after the open house, you'd probably get an offer within 2 weeks. I myself am a witness to that. I sold the house. I said, okay, here's what you do. I talked to the seller, let's get all the inspections ready just so that when people start offering, they already know the situation, the property situation of the house. So this is make things, a shortcut. True enough, after the first open house, after a week, we already had like 12 offers. And they were competing against us. And the winner has always been the all-cash offer. Like, say, $550,000 all cash.
Wow. That's a lot of cash, Milky.
I know. There were like 12 offers. 12 offers, 10 were had loans, but with big down payments. But they still had loans, and 2 all cash. The seller picked the highest of the all cash and forgot all about those with loans, even if they were like really maybe priced like 80,000 more or 90,000 more. And why is that? Because they think, they know that on anything where there's a loan, the bank gets involved. And when the bank gets involved, they'll have to rely on comparables, appraisals. And what kind of appraisals, what kind of sold properties do we have around right now? I mean, will they be able to get that price?
Nope.
No. So they knew that that's going to happen. So anything with loans at that point, talking about just this particular buyer, is quite a problem. They know, oh, you know what? Even we accept like 100,000 more with a loan, even if it was a 50% down. We're just going to go back to being uncertain of whether we're going to move out or not. Meanwhile, my kids have to go to school, we have to do this and do that. So that is it. Basically, so they did accept an all-cash offer, but which is also good because the all-cash offer, they accept the situation. It's sold as is. They accept everything. There is no appraisal. There's no loan, and they move in. And the all-cash offer. The offer price that was accepted was higher than the market value, meaning higher than the comparables. It's still higher. But it's good for the industry because in that way they're able to push the values higher. I mean, everybody benefits from this. So I think what's going to happen is there would be more and more of these cash buyers that will try to get the values up higher. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
They come from foreign countries.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
It doesn't matter.
And I had a
They
question.
come from foreign countries.
But
They got all the work.
yeah. But
They got all the American dollars.
even if
They're coming here now buying real estate.
we look at proof of funds, even if it's all cash, anything without proof of funds is not. It's not legal. I mean, it's like, you gotta, as a broker, you gotta see that. Actually, it is one of the, it's one of the items, it's one of the standards, the conditions that the seller chose one over the other because the other one didn't have funny and, not established proof of funds. The other one had one. So, anyway. So that's where we are right now. Again, the key word I think is, if listings are priced right, it won't last 30 days. Why is that so? Why is there so much in demand? Because prices generally have gone down. Maybe this house that's sold for maybe 5.5 was like 800, 850 during those times. So now, what about the future of real estate? So now knowing the past, the present, what's going to happen? I think right now, if you're capable of purchasing a home, or something you can advise people who may be purchasing a home, they might like to try do it right now. Try to push it because the values are there. Generally, the prices have gone down, and that with the new set of buyers that came into the market, remember that they are more established because that they are able to pay their mortgage because they would not get their loans if they were not capable. There's a safety net right there that the bank made sure that they could pay. So what kind of borrowers or new homeowners do you have? It's stable. So having said that, then you expect a more stable real estate market or more stable real estate industry, hopefully. But again, having said all that, there's just one question, a word that goes around us brokers and realtors. And it's sort of a conspiracy kind of story. They said, what, it's good right now that we're experiencing this, that it's easier to sell right now, it's priced right. What if, what if these big banks were just hiding big inventories and waiting for that day, they'll just get it out in the market? And what if the prices go down some more because of that? Or, because they're saying, do we really have enough people employed in order to make this economy really strong? I mean, there's just so many questions. So many questions. But I just thought I'd, throw that in because, among us brokers, we talk about those, But for us, to me personally, to end my, I have this good ability to make people sleep when I talk. And if I see people sleep, it's a measure of my success. So, one out of slept.
He sounds like me.
And you failed miserably.
So what do we do? Basically, as businessmen, I think you have your own businesses. I've been through, and still going through, where I am right now and where I was in the past. I know the present and hoping for the future. So what do we do as businessmen? I think we just have to network. We just have to continue to create alliances, support each other. We're like a support system. It's who we are. If you want to live like an island, do not network. It's like you want to be alone, please don't network because it's not for you. But networking is a support system. Networking is not just making a sale with somebody and go and run. No, it's bigger than that. Exchange of ideas, exchange of contacts, and just having that fellowship, supporting each other. Like I said, I probably have not had any business since I started here, but I know that the support, the information, communication, and the fellowship that I have with the group, it has helped me tremendously. How I manage my time, Facebook, though I'm not good at it, but I never underestimate the power of social networking. I don't exactly know the ABCs of it.
We're going to teach you.
On questions of Dr. David, but I know that it's something that you cannot ignore. Having said all that, I just want to thank you for listening. I'm sorry that you did not sleep.
Oh, wait, we have
Questions. Oh, definitely. Oh, thank you. All right. Oh, who goes first?
Doesn't matter. Let's ask Stephen.
No, Steve.
Are you going to record the
Yeah, you
question?
said something interesting. You said that, just in passing, that you're concerned about the banks maybe holding back properties and then release them. Any idea what they're holding? Because I know that banks usually are not in the business of real estate. they want to take it off their books as quickly as possible.
Well, the word is that there's just so many properties that were foreclosed, and they believe, and word, again, it's not scientific, it's just when we are in gatherings that, this always comes out, and I just thought I'd throw that in. That there was like, what they see in the market right now is what the actual number of foreclosure should be. There's got to be more, they said. Okay? Based on what they see and what they know, it's like it doesn't match. The numbers don't match, It's like there's probably more and they're just keeping some. And the bank's methods of foreclosing properties now, at a certain point they get to be more aggressive now, and the brokers wait until it gets on the market. Doesn't show in the market. Where did that go? See, what are they doing with it? And then there's word that, banks would rather collect all the inventory and just sell it and distribute them in whole one lump sum, or get another group to just take care of doing the retail part of it. So what was the answer? I don't know. To me, it's more like conspiracy. But I just go on a day to day. I work. I wake up, work, study, and see what's going on. Network, listen, be happy, not worry about anything, sleep well. Look at Facebook once in a while. Yes, Helen.
What is going to happen? For example, my property is underwater, right?
Okay.
So I pay too much.
Yes.
I want to pay less. I pay 5.4% interest.
Yes.
How can I
there is a
reduce?
program. There's a program for that. There's a program for that, and you have to meet certain conditions. Number one, you're not supposed to be late in the last 12 months. Number two, the loan amount, the loan itself should be owned by Freddie or Fannie, Freddie or Fannie, and you will be able to refinance it. To the rates of today. Today, I think the rates is still below 4%, but there's still a little premium you need to pay but still lower than 5 something.
Half a day? But how much?
No, it's just maybe a quarter more on the interest, or maybe an eighth more. I mean, there's just a little more.
Like, for example,
Being able to do that program.
I don't know.
Charge you a premium to get into it.
Yeah.
At a lower rate.
If I buy a home right now, I'd probably get an interest rate of maybe 3.375 for 30-year fixed. Or if I refinance, a regular refinance, right, where there's equity in my home. Okay. The bank for that particular scenario, you'll probably be charged instead of 3.375, maybe 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do you got it? Yeah, that's the premium. Yes, sir.
So first of all, Milky, what you mentioned earlier, I think maybe you should do a new GNA promo video with us. Like you said, if you want to live like an island, don't come to GNA, right? Right?
Well,
It makes sense, right? Because you want to meet a lot of people and
I'll
network.
do anything that would promote the group.
This 3.5 can be, do I have to pay it or it can be added to my loan?
Well, you just have to add more to your interest rate basically, and the bank can pay it off. I mean, there's like payoff to that. Yeah. Right?
Okay, hang on one second. Here we go. So I want to just make a couple comments here. I remember, back in what we called the good old days, everybody was doing refis and everybody was buying a home that could breathe, like you said. I had a lot of friends of mine that bought into what they were called the subprime loans, right? Those are the ones where you have interest only for a certain amount of time, right? And next thing you know, your mortgage doubles after a period.
Triple.
Doubles or triples in some cases, right?
Yes.
And there were people out there making $50K a year buying a $700,000 home. You cannot afford a $700,000 home making $50K a year by yourself. You can afford a subprime loan during this first, few years or whatever the term is, but next thing you know, if you haven't, graduated by that point or in a better job making triple what you're making, like 150K, you're not going to be able to afford it. I had a lot of friends, the majority of my friends lost their homes because of those types of loans, and that's basically what put us where we were at. And that's an issue that, the banks made, allowing those loans. That's just Plain and simple, right? Is that your thought on it?
If you try to go back for like, where did it all start?
Right.
Way back. It's probably started from the, I don't want to go back to it, but I always said, it's government. I mean, it started from legislation. It started from making laws to make it easy, maybe to get votes for, I don't know. I mean, they said it started the time of Carter, they said it was a political move. It was a political move, and the idea was to give, the thought was everybody should have the right to own their home. So they're saying everybody should have the right to get into their home. It's like a political statement. Yeah, fine, but the process was abused. So how do you do that? Well, I don't have money, but maybe I could get into a house, it's a Mickey Mouse, So again, I would like to thank you, and I'll still be here at GNA, and hopefully I could, promote the GNA more. Again, it's not the size of the group, it's an intimate group, but the effect of just being here and, just making this very good relationships, and people might talk about you. Well, I'm on video, so maybe people would know about me. I don't. What I deal with is like. It's not like potatoes or tomatoes. I mean, it's like thousands of dollars. Big amount. So they gotta know me. You have to establish that relationship before you can even talk about doing business and all. So I stay here and I'll be here. Thank you again for what you're doing to GNA. What are you doing again? No, just kidding.
Yeah. Who am I? Yeah. Give Milky a big round of applause. Yeah.